Appreciate you guys coming out. Really means a lot. So thank you for being here. Appreciate our fans. They just they're huge for us, and got a pretty special fan base. Proud of our players. I don't think any of us are satisfied. We know we got to learn and grow and continue to work on some things, but that's the most special thing about this team is just their work ethic, their buy-in, the sisterhood that they've created in the locker room, and it's fun to see them have the success on the court. Thought we had really big minutes from a number of players, but I thought Frankie, obviously, in that first half was critical for us in the way she showed up, and her and Mama just to kind of navigate the pace. I thought we did a really good job pushing in transition. I don't think our transition points show. Just we didn't shoot it very well from the three. We had some good looks, but I thought when we get in the half court, we've really played with great pace and a lot of really positive things from, a little bit of everybody, and big win for us.
Robin, obviously every night's a tough night in the SEC, but to get 2 straight wins now in the SEC, what kind of momentum and confidence is that for this group moving forward?
Yeah, I told them before the game, can't think about last week, don't want to think about next week. Let's just be in this game with each other, and 0-0, and that's, they got a pretty special group in that locker room, and that's all we really want to focus on is let's see how good we can be today. And so it's not even, okay, 2 in a row or we lost 2 in a row. It's just really, this group is way too special. I don't want to miss out on any moments with them. I want to be where my feet are, and I just want to, just learn and grow and go to battle together with them. And I can't tell you enough what a special group it is.
Coach, Georgia's not a team that likes to shoot the 3-ball much, but holding them to only 2 makes from beyond the arc and 33.9%, I think, from the field. Just what did you think of the defensive performance tonight?
Yeah, I thought we had some stretches where it was really good, and I thought we had some, hiccups here and there. I think you're not going to play the game perfect, but just the importance of really being dialed in on personnel and what their strengths are. And we just had maybe a handful of times that we didn't foul personnel or the way we wanted to defend some action, which isn't bad. But when you're trying to, do some really special things like you gotta eliminate those possessions, because there's always going to be things that you don't prep for or plan for, but let's control what we do know, and let's really be assignment correct. But you also, sometimes I forget this just because I'm forcing these freshmen to the fire so much that they're actually it just there's no substitute for experience, and they're in the fires, they're learning, they're growing, and then they show up tomorrow and they want to watch more film and learn more and grow more, and that's the thing that's so special about them.
Coach, you all are getting the ball into the paint quite frequently on offense and finding a lot of success there. Just before this game, what were you seeing from Georgia's defense on film, and how were you all able to exploit it, especially on the interior?
Yeah, Katie's a great coach. I've known her for a long time. She's blue collar. Her teams play really hard for her. And we knew that they'd be coming in with just a little bit of extra grittiness. Everyone's got high aspirations, and felt like they were going to be pretty aggressive, but we really wanted to set the tone with just our physicality on the defensive end, but offensively really playing with great pace and not allowing them to play in transition. And we said to eliminate those transition points, we have to have ball security and we have to take really good shots. Well, I don't know that our ball security was at the level, I know it wasn't at the level that I would like to see it at, but I did think we played with really great pace, and I felt like we, because we play a little bit of a 3-2, we kind of understood those rotations, and I would think that helped us a little bit understand the coverages, and a defense like that, you really want to play in space, and just our rotations I thought were really good.
Grace, I know you talked about physicality earlier this season. It's definitely been something that has progressed for you. You weren't one to shy away from the basket. What really changed in these last couple of games that you're able to be so aggressive in this matchup?
She had 2 fouls tonight. I've been on her about fouling a little bit more. She's playing too many minutes without fouling, so good job. That's got to be a season high.
It is, I think. I think kind of Coach touched on it. Nothing really replaces experience, and so just getting farther into SEC play, and I think getting to see it more and more often and play against it has definitely allowed me to be a little bit more comfortable. And then getting the opportunity to be in the high post, which I hadn't really done much this season, but it was exciting because we got to attack and do something that I was a little bit more comfortable with, which is driving.
Grace, you seem pretty comfortable offensively with your back to the basket. Can you just talk about the development of that part of your game? Has it always been a part of your game, or just something relatively new?
For sure. Growing up, I was on a little bit shorter, so I grew up playing point guard, and then towards middle school and high school, I started growing, so got to develop that back to the basket game, and so it probably is a little bit relatively new, but something I do enjoy doing.
Abbey, you've seen your role fluctuate a little bit here, and as Mama missed that game against South Carolina, given the start there, just how have you felt your role kind of develop as the season goes, and now taking on a pretty important role in SEC play?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit different each game for me. Just whichever role I have to step up into, you never know. Like, I'm subbing in for a lot of different people and playing a lot of different positions. So just each game, I'm just always trying to use my voice, be a leader out there, and whichever role I have to do, that's what I'm going to try to do.
Abbey and Grace, at this point in the season, would you say that you are better tailoring yourselves to the speed of the college game?
I would say, yeah, just like we said before, the experience is coming in, and just each game learning new things and seeing it and feeling it is helping us.
Yeah, I would agree, and starting SEC play with probably a couple of the toughest opponents we'll see this year was definitely good for us, and I think just exciting to keep on growing from what we're learning each and every game.
Coach, you take a double-digit lead into halftime. Those first couple minutes out of halftime, some big adjustments can be made. You go on that run to end the third quarter, end up putting it out of reach. Just what was the message going into halftime to really keep up that lead?
Yeah, so I'm just going to give these players the credit. I mean, they just do such a tremendous job, I think, with, you see it in huddles, you see it in the locker room. I walk in the locker room, they've already been talking about tactical solutions, and then we try and break it down, and what does this mean? What does this look like? How do we accomplish this? And it's just, it's a group that's, they don't need a lot of motivation. They don't need a lot of inspiration. They showed up here in June ready to put on their work gloves, and that's all they've done since the beginning of June, is just really lean in, and freshmen came in and they wanted to elevate this program, and our returners have done a great job just continuing to put in the work and trust the process. And so halftime's pretty easy, believe it or not. I mean, they have really good locker room talk, and then we talk about what things that we've seen, but I guess the best thing about it is it usually mirrors each other pretty well, from what we're seeing as a staff to what they're seeing as players.
Coach, the high post offense that Grace mentioned seemed like got a lot more usage tonight. You had a lot of different players kind of mixing into that role. Just how does that suit your personnel and some of the three-level scorers?
Yeah, kind of fun. I thought we were trying to pass it around a little bit to start the game so everybody had their shot, because we thought there'd be some. And I think we do have really good one-on-one players in situations like that. And so, I think just, again, probably the versatility that fits our system that we try to recruit to, players that can shoot it or drive it, stretch the defense. It's, there's quite a few of them that makes it a little bit easier for us to rotate players in different situations.
Any more questions?
Coach Moments and Belay moved to fourth in the Mizzou all-time program history and assists. What does it mean for you to have just that kind of level of facilitator every night on your team?
Yeah, I'm so proud of her. I mean, we've talked about this before. This is the first summer she'd been here. She'd been with her national team, and I just think it was huge for her with so many new players to be around, but also an opportunity to just kind of work on her skills. And, you always saw flashes in Mama, but I think she's playing at an all-time high. Her confidence is really high. I think she finally has a grasp like what the quarterback looks like of a team, and how to direct traffic, and the impact her vibe has on everybody in that locker room. And so it's fun to see her play with the confidence that she is. But I would say, it's definitely a credit to her, and then she'd probably deflect that to say, I've got a lot of good shooters that can knock down shots. And so at the end of the day, it takes a little bit of everybody. It takes a village.
We'll take one or two more. When we usually talk steals, we're talking about Mama, but Abbey, you led the team in steals tonight with 2 of them. So obviously that defensive aspect was pretty big all game. Just what were you seeing on that end of the floor to make you guys so successful?
Like Coach always is emphasizing, staying in the gap and keeping our stance. So I'm always just trying to work on my defense. I've always been trying to work on that since the beginning of the season. So I guess it's just paying off now.
Coach, you all were pretty far ahead in the rebound battle for most of tonight, although Georgia closed the gap a little bit at the end. What would you make of your team's effort on the glass tonight?
I think it's getting better. I mean, we got work to do. We haven't arrived by any stretch of the imagination, but again, there's stretches, there's possessions, but there's a lot of opportunity for growth too. We've got to get better on the offensive boards. We talk about it a lot. I think that's where probably Avery Kroenke would, one of her best attributes was just, her defense and her rebounding, but we've got to be a lot more aggressive going to the offensive boards, and so that's nowhere close where it needs to be. And that's something that we'll continue to watch film and try and help our players understand, just opportunities that we're not capitalizing on.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.